Hey friends, popping in with some quick harvest tips for tomatillos and tomatoes. This year we planted 5 tomatillo plants and they have been producing like crazy. When harvesting the fruit, they should have either fallen off the plant completely or are practically falling off. If you need to give them a firm tug, then they are definitely not ready. Move on. I also look for the paper wrapping to be completely filled, starting to yellow, and split open. If any of the fruit falls off before it's ripe, that's totally okay. Just leave them on the countertop in their husk. They'll ripen on their own. Moving on to tomatoes, we planted a bunch of different varieties this year, most of which are heirloom. So I want to give you some tips for those ones in particular. First, I always use my snips when harvesting. I never want to risk damage to the plant, and when you are growing these giant heirlooms, a lot of times it's really hard to reach in there and snap it free. So I just go straight for the snips. You'll never regret it. Second, I try to harvest most of my tomatoes just before peak ripeness. I would always prefer to have tomatoes ripening on my windowsill rather than risk the fruit rotting because I have forgotten to go out and check the plant that day. This last tip is brought to you by my current weather forecast. We are starting to see temperatures dip down a little bit and rain move in. Thank goodness. The only trick here is that if I leave my tomatoes on the vine and I have a giant rainstorm coming in, I actually increase my risk of those tomatoes splitting open. So if you have rain in the forecast, get yourself out there, harvest as many as you can. If your tomato does split, again, not the end of the world. Just inspect them carefully for any signs of pest or rot and enjoy what is still good. Thanks for coming along on this little end of August harvest, and I am going to see you in the next one. Bye.